Oh
Hello,
god.
everybody. Welcome back to Destined to Roll. We're here on a Friday night. We're gonna hang out and play some D&D, which will be super, super fun. I'm super pumped to play tonight. I know that people have been talking about it. So, before we get rolling, any announcements or anything that people have?
Fix it.
Wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Um,
Stay inside or I'm coming for your toes.
Joey's
If you're
coming
on
for
fire,
everybody's
stop, drop,
toes.
and roll.
Yes,
Stop.
that's a very great announcement. Okay. That's fantastic. I think we're good.
International.
If you haven't already, follow us on Twitch. Or nope. Yeah, I mean yes, follow us on Twitch. But I mean
Follow us on both, honestly.
yes, honestly, follow us both on
Please.
Twitch. And then also what I meant to say was
Please be
Twitter
a friend.
at Roll Destined. So follow us there. We do announcements and everything's typically in some sort of rhyme, or we did something new today. I don't know if you guys saw, but Snud wrote a journal entry, which was really cute. So
You can do journal entries? That's lit.
it was Shorty's idea, and I thought it was adorable.
Yeah, he was like, I really hate these guys. Can't wait till I kill them all.
I mean, that's valid. We're the worst.
Kendall, would you like to read that? Would you like to read that journal
Yeah,
entry?
Candle, do you want to read your journal entry?
Man, I can't believe
Sure, I'm
Kendall
about to
died.
find it. You sent me a Twitter link?
It's in our you sent it to me, so it's like in our
Oh, right, duh.
DMs. Be a very great
Oh,
review
again.
from last week.
What?
Alright, we went down the hole and found a whole lot of injured people in bandages. I tried healing them, but they seemed to be mad with pain. And that knocked them out. Afterwards, we met a nice lady, and one look at her and Zelovar became paralyzed with love. Didn't think Zyke would ever fall in love. An element showed the nice lady a mirror, and the nice lady turned into a statue.
Alright.
And that was the end of the entry.
I
Apparently
only
Zyke
read the
feel love.
first half. I didn't know that second half existed.
I didn't know I could feel love, but okay.
Apparently. So anyways, last session the group had fallen down into a pit, and it turned out to be some sort of ancient ruin crypt thing where dead were buried. They got attacked by several mummies and then chased a giant snake down to a room where a Medusa was there, and she tried to paralyze them and keep them with her forever. And that did not go very well. Cass did, however, get turned to stone for a little bit as a giant ape, which is even funnier. So, but luckily they found a scroll of greater restoration, because otherwise they would have had to lug a giant ape statue up out of the hole.
You're crazy if you think we were lugging
Yeah.
it.
I was about to say
You're just gonna
crazy.
leave Cass
That's
there?
what I was saying. Zari was
Okay.
like, you thought you were gonna die?
All
And I was
hope
like,
is
yeah.
lost if you turn into a giant ape statue. That's all.
Yeah, it's a mutual thing in our
have no
party. If you
morals.
turn into a giant ape statue, we're
Yeah,
leaving you
everybody
behind.
know that. You're not getting saved.
What if it was like Cass as a statue?
I mean, I would
Nope, still
consider it,
sorry.
but
Everyone
probably
but
not.
Rooks.
Literally, we have two characters who could bench press a fucking planet, and you guys wouldn't look at Kaz if he was in his normal form.
Okay, but that's a
No.
giant, like, gorilla statue.
That's
That takes effort, and I don't want to use it.
Brooks
it's
literally is a buffing cleric.
you just roll. Like, you don't actually have to physically put an effort yourself.
Oh, we
Yeah,
don't
but
have to
that's
send
too
you a
much-
video of us
that
bench
means I
pressing
have to
500
care.
pounds?
Yes, next time when you roll a strength check, you have to send me a video of you bench pressing or doing push-ups.
Then it's gonna get really sad
Alright,
because
I already just said
Oh,
a video
I'm
of
like
us breast punching.
245
Doesn't mean we
pounds.
succeed at
That's
it.
not gonna work.
I just said you had
not
to send
doing
me a
that.
video. It doesn't mean
You
what
want-
Paula said. Doesn't mean that
Roman,
you
you
have
want
to
us to seduce this dragon? Seduce me right now.
Wait, the dragon's gonna seduce Rooks? What? Is it
If
gonna be
anything,
like
would
Shrek?
probably be a dragon.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
They're gonna have tiny plague doctor dragon babies.
Like gold, so do I. What is happening here?
Oh. Anyways,
Yeah, we're
tangent
derailing.
aside, Imagine that. Us derailing? Never. Oh,
Who do you think
I
we
know,
are?
right?
Who do you think we are? Critical Role?
Okay.
Anyways, we need to start.
Yes. Anyways, let's actually get started. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. There we go. That's English. And you guys are just climbing back out of the hole with your profits, the things that you got, and are finding Black Rose standing there unamused. Nothing has changed except you
Look
guys
at
were
me
down
like
in a hole for like an hour or so, and that's about it. So, what would you like to do?
Zai just looks at Black Rose and be like, "Don't look at me like that."
Wait, so what time is it? Like 10 in the morning, 11?
Yeah, it's like around 10 or 11 in the morning.
So what stuff do we have? Distribute.
I also don't remember anything but the decanter and the scroll we gave Snud.
I
You
think
know,
we have a deck
Looking
of many
pen-
things. We have like a decanter of
It's-
water.
it was a spell scroll for Snud, a potion
Sure,
of heroism, a decanter of endless water, oil of slipperiness, and 2 topaz.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give everything to Snud because it all sounds like Snud stuff.
We have a rogue though. Why wouldn't you give him the thing of slipperiness?
Okay, the
Yeah, I think
rogue
the
can
Yeah,
have the
give me
thing
the
of
po-
slip
give me
for
the
rogue.
heroism thing spell. Roll an Arcana check if you want me to know. Sorry,
You can what?
I can roll an Arcana check if you want for me to read the scroll.
The scroll. You look at the scroll and it is gibberish.
Oh
Is it?
right, Snud got
Snud's
What's
the
this?
only one who
18
can
says
read the
otherwise. Sorry.
scroll. No, you
It's
look at
actually a
the
potion of
scroll
heroism,
and
so
it's
you can drink the potion.
gibberish. Yeah, the potion of heroism is a potion.
What's the actual spell, Snud again?
Haste.
Oh
Never
right.
mind. I thought it was the
Oh
other way.
yeah, I remember last time I was like, it's weird that clerics don't get that spell.
Yeah, no, it's pretty weird. It's a very
makes
well. I
sense.
mean, it's an open. We had this whole conversation.
Anyways.
So there's a potion and the oil of slipperiness and 2 topaz. I believe is what's and you guys can figure out where you want what.
Cass could probably make better use of this oil of slipperiness.
Okay.
Oh
And
no,
who
that
wants-
wasn't me giving it to you.
Oh,
Elvin has the
sorry.
others. That was me suggesting it.
Yeah, I don't know what it does, but he can have it.
So
and who wants the potion?
Of
What does heroism
heroism,
do?
it
It
like
gives
makes
you
you
the-
not be able to be frightened and
It gives you the bless spell and also with no concentration, and also you get 10 temporary hit points.
Alright, so either Elman or Rooks would be best for that, but unlike Elman, Rooks is actually a combat medic, quote unquote. That could help me, but also if you wanted it just in case you had to get in there, that's also fair.
Wait, this potion of heroism isn't the same spell as the heroism spell?
it is. Pretty sure, at least.
Well, she said you get the bless spell.
Oh, the bless spell's
Oh.
different.
Hold on. Hold on.
So
I am
the
really
heroism
struggling
spell
today.
keeps you from being frightened and gives you temporary HP.
The bless spell adds that you had to D4 to like.
Yeah.
Let me actually tell you what it is. One
Also
moment,
really hot
please.
today.
Yeah, it's so freaking hot out. I was wearing a sweater because it's cold in my apartment, and I walked outside and noped real hard.
Nope, it's
illegal to
cold
go
here. I don't
outside,
know
sorry.
I don't know what you guys are talking
It's
about.
not illegal. I had to go get
It's
allergy
illegal.
meds.
You
Okay.
are breaking the quarantine. How dare you?
Anyways, yeah, for an hour after drinking it, you gain 10 temporary hit points that last for an hour. Oh, thank you, Candle. For the same duration, you are under the effects of the Bless spell. So that means that you can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to an attack roll or saving throw. No concentration
Oh.
required.
Okay, so it's
Oh,
not the
that's a
same as
lot
the
different than what
heroism
I
spell.
thought.
Yeah, it's not the
Okay,
same as
then
the
it
spell.
should either. It should probably go to Zai or Snud, opinion.
But I get something.
That's just my opinion. You guys are better at planning than I am.
Yeah, it's very bold of you to assume that Zai plans anything.
Bold
Uh,
of
He
us
just
to
plans
assume, we
death.
don't assume anything about Zai planning.
I'm gonna be honest. I would just pocket that after knowing what it does with identify. I thought it did the hero. I wouldn't
Oh,
have told anybody it's a thing.
Yeah, man.
Elman's so shady. That's fair. Okay, so I guess Elman has that potion still.
Okay, cool. Anyways, what else did we get? Just a bunch of gems.
Yeah.
2 topaz
Yes,
that I
because
just give to Snook because he loves gems.
yes.
Yeah.
So they're
Good
worth
gem
500
boy.
gold piece each. You would know, Snud. Okie dokie. So, are you guys hopping back on the trail?
Yes. On the road again.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
So, you guys last time had just been lost, and you were on your way back finally after Dr. Rux figured out how to get back to the main path. So you pile back into the cart, nursing some wounds for some of you. Cass, you're a little shooken up after being a statue and no longer being a statue. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think Snud's cursed. So
Oh,
Snud,
right.
so
Oh.
Snud, you can't heal right now. And I don't, Dr. Brooks, you probably would be able to see this if you made a medicine check for me. I don't know if Snud would realize that he's cursed.
Oh no, I just cast remove curse. I have one more 3rd level spell left.
Oh, okay. Okay. So between the two of you and figuring out that Snud's cursed, you managed to remove the curse pretty easily. Good to know. I didn't realize you had that spell prepared. Oh, darn.
Listen, I went fully in on support.
I mean, it's good. It's good, especially after what happened last time.
Oh, you thought I was gonna get rid of it, but then that shit happened with Zion. I said, you know what?
Always have remove curse prepared.
So
Okay,
now
so
if anything happens for the rest of the day,
so Snud, you are no longer cursed.
Hey.
I love the Snud yays so much. They always get me. So you guys continue on your merry way. Dr. Rose getting you guys back to the main path. After about 3 more hours or so of travel. And once you find the, oh my gosh, my screen is not going where I want it to, and it's driving me insane. I'm gonna shoot something. Okay. So once you guys, I know.
Americans
threat.
be like,
Oh my god. So once you guys manage to find your way back to the main path, Dr. Rooks, you're like, oh, this is where it is. It's pretty easy for you to see it. And you're not quite sure how Snud and Elman managed to veer off the path, although occasionally it does get covered in sand, depending on the shifting of the dunes and how fast the wind is going at the time. Um, so as you guys continue down along the path for a little while longer, for the rest of this day, I'm going to need someone to make me a survival check. Whoever's steering the cart.
Rooks does not trust these fuckers, so I should roll.
Okay.
Unless anyone else objects that.
If someone is assisting him with the map, I will give you advantage.
Yes, I will assist him and give him bardic inspiration with the assist.
Okay, so you have a D8 to add as well. Oh, geez.
Just gonna roll the d8 just cause.
Well, yeah, because it only lasts like a minute. Okay, 25. Jeez. 25. Very easily.
25 survival, boys.
Yeah, rolled a 23, which is pretty dope. So very easily you managed to stay on the path. It's pretty easy for you to follow it, and every so often you guys see a couple of different like pillars that look broken down, and off in the distance at one point, as you're looking at the map, Elman, you notice that you can see kind of like some ruins peeking out over the sand dunes, and you figure it's one of the ruins about you would say like 4 hours off, that you can kind of see the tip of. When you look at the map, you figure out which one it is pretty easily. So as you guys continue for the rest of this day, are you going to push through the night, or are you going to stop?
How
We could
How long do we
stop.
have?
We need a long rest anyways.
I would probably sleep in the back while we push through the day so that I could continue through the.
Yeah, but you just gave him bardic inspiration and helped him
Oh, I have to
navigate.
be helping them the whole time. Okay, I won't do that.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
I just want to stop for the day?
Yeah,
I
'cause
would like to
I'm
stop. Yes.
hurting. I'm hurting.
I would say you have about a day and like a half-ish left if everything goes well.
I mean, we don't really lose anything by stopping.
Okay, so you guys are stopping for the evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, 14.
So you kind of pull off the road a little bit and tuck into. There's not much like shelter here at all, and you tuck into the side of one of the sand dunes, like letting the horses chill and making sure they're fed and everything, and begin to rest for the evening. Um, are you keeping watch? What are you guys doing?
Brooks keeps watch, but he says, I'll take the first watch. Xylova, you need the most sleep, so you rest now, and I'll stay up with Snud so that someone can keep us safe for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, who's taking second watch? Just from my brain.
I'll take the second watch.
Okay, just by yourself, or do you want?
I'm not gonna ask anyone to help me.
Okay, third.
I'll take third.
Cool. Cass gets to sleep the whole night, I guess. Cass is like, yes. Okay, so during the first watch, can I have a perception check for that?
Sure.
One of you can
You
roll
ready
with
for
advantage if
candle?
you would like.
Do you want to give me advantage, or do you just want to roll your own?
I think you've got a bigger wisdom, so. But can you see in the dark?
I can see up to 60 feet, but you probably have better sight than I do.
I'll give you advantage. Why not?
Okay. 1, 2.
Yeah.
11, boy.
Triple
Um,
snake eyes.
Listen, I will say, not bad. Could be better, but it's like whatever.
yeah. So it gets really cold during the night in the desert after the sun sets. You hear some lizards like scampering around, but you guys stick close to your campfire, and it's pretty easy to keep animals and stuff away. You guys keep watch. Nothing seems to happen throughout your watch.
It's very cold out. Are you alright? Your armor is metal.
I'm fine. It's quite comfy in here. But I've got this thing of water, but there's not a lot of water in there. What exactly is it?
What from what Elman told me, and I'm going to look into the campaign info because I don't remember what the item's called.
It's a decanter
Canter
of
of endless water.
It's a decanter of endless water. Essentially, it never runs out of water. At least that's my understanding of it. I'm not very well versed in magical items.
That is looking into it like his eyes and the little people, but there's no water in here.
Oh, right. Should I make a check? Sorry, or is it like common knowledge what decanters of water do?
I mean, you kind of know what it does, but you know that it produces water, but you don't necessarily know how. I'll have you make an check for that.
Arcana?
I
Yeah.
would have told them. I would have told
Oh,
them how
you
it
would have
works.
told him how to work it?
Yeah, I wouldn't just be like,
That-
"Oh, here's something with water in it. Good luck."
Okay, so I mean that would have been funny.
Well,
So
Snud, to use this decanter, you have to speak one of 3 command words, and a fresh amount of water or salt water, your choice, pours out of the flask. The water stops pouring at the start of your next turn. I mean, anyways, if you say the word, he writes down the words. He's like, Snud, you can read, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So if you speak one of these 3 words, one of 3 things will happen. And on the paper, it just says stream. He points to it and he's like, that produces about a gallon of water. He points to the word fountain and he says, that produces 5 gallons of water. And he points to the word geyser, says, that produces 30 gallons of water. 30 gallons of water coming at you at once can actually hurt you a lot, so be very careful.
Oh, it's still looking into the decanter. It's a geyser.
No, that's not
It's a
that's not-
geyser.
Oh,
no.
and then as soon as you say that, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Sure.
Destroys the cart.
Are you not
High
working?
water pressure.
There we go. 23.
Okay. So so many strength saves just popped up in roll 20. That's funny. So as you say that, water like shoots out in a very like super fast, bursts all over your face, and you manage to just pull it off your face right at the right time. And so it doesn't like hurt you, but a huge geyser of water is shooting out of this flask, and like the whole surrounding area where you aim it just becomes like covered in water. And
Oh,
then
no.
after a couple of seconds it goes away.
God, you have to be more
Wow,
careful.
that's a lot of water.
Rooks goes into his car and pulls out a rag and starts wiping Snud off.
That's what a geyser is.
You have to be very careful with that. It actually hurts yourself.
I promise.
Okay. That's fantastic. Any other conversation you wish to have?
Snud, are you evil? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Get that off the record.
Snud pulls out his deck.
Stabby stab. So after the end of your watch, you guys wake up Elman. Everything passes seemingly fine. So Elman,
Certainly.
Good roll, Jude. 17, that's good.
okay. Elman, as it gets to kind of the mid part of the night, you're sitting. You find a dry-ish spot. I mean, the water clears up pretty quickly, but there was a small little puddle when you woke up, just chilling right by your fire. Um, and so finding a dry spot to sit and watching for the evening. Any conversation you wish to have with yourself?
Just all internal.
Internal monologues.
Mhm.
Okay, so you keep watch, and towards the end of your watch, right, like a couple minutes before you're about to wake up Xylova, you see a figure coming down the path.
Okay. I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself from.
From your loot?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay. Roll a stealth check for me as well.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, you get advantage because you're invisible. Thank you.
Woo! Go
So-
cast.
It's a lot better.
That is a lot better.
I can't see a roll 20.
Oh yeah, good point. You were just like asking. He rolled a 13 the first time and a 20 the second time, so that's a 20 for stealth. So as you are walking closer to this figure, you see that they are wearing a long white robe, have a satchel kind of across their chest and back, and have their head kind of wrapped up in a turban and their face covered. The skin looks like that you can see that's like out is very dark and leathery. Um, and as you kind of sneak along the path and approach, they just look like they seem to be walking. They're all alone. They do not have a horse or anything.
They don't have a horse. Does us?
They're walking towards you at the moment along the path. So you guys are like off the path a little ways. Not like a
Okay.
super little ways, but like off the path.
Yeah, I would just stand to the side and let him pass.
Okay.
Then pass.
As you do that, you hear a soft voice say, "You know, it's not nice to spy invisibly."
I hear
Well,
it.
we have to kill him now, guys.
I hear it in my brain, or I hear it out loud.
Out loud.
How close did I see it come from this guy?
Yes.
How close is he?
I would say he's like 15, 20 feet off from you. Like as you're
Golden choice of
pathing him.
last word.
Oh well, I would just stay invisible and respond. Well, just keep in watch. Make sure you're going along your way, not coming towards us.
The figure stops and turns towards you and like uncovers their face, and you see an older there it's hard to tell with elves, but an elven gentleman who looks to be older than you, but not like super super old right now, that you can see, and he turns towards your voice and just says, "I am but a scholar carrying on my way to the Sanbar Oasis."
Well, I figured if I kept watching invisible, I would hinder your progression and keep you out of our way. But it appears you can see.
It's not that I can see you, it's that I could hear you.
Ah, so but he looked right at me. He knows exactly where.
Mhm.
Well,
Based on where your voice came from.
it sounds like we have no issue here. We can just go our separate ways. I'll go back to my part.
And where are you traveling?
The Oasis.
Would you like a guide?
I have a quite competent guy.
All right. Do as you will. Well, then maybe I will see you in town eventually. And he just kind of nods his head, covers his face back up, and carries on.
And I kill him.
Are you stabbing him?
I'm just kidding.
I was so ready for it. Okay.
Elman just
Do it.
listen.
I dare you.
If Elman just fucking wrecked this guy, that would be a power move.
I'm almost positive this is the guy we're looking for, but that's okay.
You didn't ask him his name.
No, because Elman wouldn't care.
Ew.
It's fine. If we see him tomorrow, he doesn't know what you look like, so it doesn't matter.
True. Elman wouldn't care, so I didn't ask.
Okay. So you watch as he passes the party, and as he does, he kind of looks over and then carries on.
All right, I just go back to the party.
Interesting.
Okay. And you wake up Zai for his watch.
Okay.
Zai.
Ah!
Roll me a perception check.
Oh God. In the name of Kavaki, please. How sweet. Kavaki, you have forsaken me.
That's a natural one. But
This is why he doesn't pray.
It's a natural one. That's fantastic.
I love how he
So-
literally uses the god's name but doesn't pray to them.
I mean, it's like saying, "Oh my God."
He has his beliefs, he just doesn't practice them.
All right.
Then again, he's always upset, so why would he pray?
Okay, so Zai, you sit next
Yes.
to the fire. It's warm. Nobody's awake.
Oh,
to keep you awake.
fire's warm.
Yes.
And it
You
burns you.
still drowsy. Fall back asleep.
Oh, okay, I see.
And when you guys all wake up in the morning, nothing seems to have happened. However, Xylofa fell asleep during watch. Why are you rolling a d6?
Wand of Wonder regaining.
Oh, okay.
I thought I rolled a d6 by accident. I'm like, sorry, why are you yelling at me?
Okay, so you guys wake up. Nothing seems to have happened, even though Zai fell asleep.
Yep.
Hello, you had one job.
What? But did you die? I don't think so.
You can't say that every time you mess up.
I did not mess up because you were still living.
He has a point.
Doesn't. Don't defend him.
Hey, I just advocate for everybody. That's my job.
You're disencouraging him.
Dang.
The last thing
Whereas,
we need to
what
do
did-
is encourage Joey.
Yeah, you have a point. Although Joey called me something earlier today. What was it? Me bullying you guys or something into submission? Oh God, what was it? It was so good. We'll have to see it later. But what the DM does.
I called you. Oh, a narrative god bullying you into submission.
Right? Right? I was like, yes, I need that printed for me somewhere. Okay. So, you guys are carrying on into the next day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whoever's driving the cart. Survival
Alright.
check. You're traveling
Alright,
through the
boys, I'm
desert.
driving the
Right,
cart.
You ain't doing shit. I drive cart.
Oh, okay. I guess Rooks will help him then.
Okay, if you want to make the survival check, because I go for it with advantage.
Dad just told me to shut up. I make a living.
With advantage,
Oh my god, advantage?
because you have a map and rooks.
I suck at 10.
Okay.
With advantage.
You rolled an 11.
So, you continue to go along this path, and about halfway, a little like 10 a.m. ish, it starts to look like there's just sand everywhere, and all the markers you were kind of following are gone.
All right, so Xylova, you don't get to drive anymore, and Rooks is just gonna take the reins.
Rooks, as you say this, you look and see a figure walking in the sand about a couple, 100 feet off. And
Do I see this man?
Yep.
Oh,
you're
not
outside.
this guy again.
So
But
Zai
they-
turns to Rook. So Zai turns to Rooks and be like, the audacity.
Like an axe.
Do they look injured?
No, they're just walking.
Are they in white
That's
robes?
nice.
Yes,
All right,
they're in white robes.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
I'm
I'll
gonna
do it.
say, this guy came by last.
Say that again.
Don't
This
do it,
guy came
guys.
by last night.
Is he following us?
Are we following him?
He's ahead of us, so I would say no, he's not following us. Nor are we following him, Snud, because we were ahead.
Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Sorry. Could I make a check on his robes to see what organization he's with?
The desert.
Sure. You need to get closer.
I have to agree. He's probably just with the desert.
How far ahead is he?
He's more off to the side. So essentially, you guys were just driving off-roading about
Then there's no point.
300 feet off the road, and you see him walking, and he's on the.
I'll say He came by last night. He didn't come by. He was walking down the path, and I saw him. So I turned invisible and went stood between us and him, make sure he didn't come towards us or whatever. But he apparently heard me, and I use air quotations. And he asked if we wanted a guide, but I told him that you're pretty good, Rook. So, but yeah, I've met this guy. He seems nice enough.
Oh, that's nice. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to trying to figure out where the right path is.
Well, I mean, you could just literally go
Bless
to where
you.
Bless
he is.
you.
That would be the right path.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. That sneeze was really
Yeah.
loud.
You could just go right to him. You don't really need to figure it out. He knows the desert. It
Go
seems.
right through him.
Yeah, you could just run him over too. Whatever you do, you do.
I was
If
literally
we
gonna
get
make
to
a
kill
joke.
somebody, we get to kill somebody. Don't
What's
worry,
that?
I got this.
You don't need to kill them. Where did you even come up with that?
In
Anyway,
my big boy brain, I kill.
Anyways, all right. Rooks, roll up to the guy.
Okay, so you guys roll back over towards him and get back on the main road. Stops and waits for you guys to catch up, seeing you coming, and just nods at you politely and says, I offered one of your companions, not sure who, a guide. Were you struggling on the road?
We were for a bit.
Do you need assistance finding your way to the oasis?
He looks at Elman because Rooks honestly doesn't care either way.
I told him that you could find it, so it's up to you. If you want to admit you can't, Rooks, that's your decision.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Was that
calling you
your
out.
was that your attempt of using toxic masculinity against me? Because I don't care.
I think
As long as we have to pay him, he can help us if he wants.
everyone has an ego.
No, I don't
That's
have
fair,
any
but
ego.
I'm not gonna let my ego get in the way of what we're supposed to do. We're on a job. I don't care as long as we don't have to pay him.
Probably gonna have to.
I'm sure he would trade the ride so he's not walking anymore, right, kind sir?
You have a point. Yes, I would. I was just simply going to offer to guide you.
Well, you're going
Right,
to
just
the
don't touch
oasis, so
anything.
yes, Rooks is very particular about who
Just
can
don't
touch
sit in
his
the-
thing.
I touched
I'm
this
sorry, I didn't catch your
thing.
name. What's your name?
Oh, thank you for asking. In these parts, I typically go by Clara.
Nice to meet you, Calera.
What do you
My name
mean,
is
this guy?
Snud.
Big
And
bad evil guy.
what?
He names himself.
Be easy. Gotta kill him.
That's the bad guy. So we kill him now.
You can certainly try.
Please no.
Alright.
Anyways, Rooks
Rooks,
opens the door and makes a little room, extra sitting room for him in the back of his cart.
Okay.
We're gonna trust this guy.
I thought he was gonna help you navigate.
I mean, if he wants to walk, he can. Sure, I'm not gonna stop him.
We have horses too.
Oh right, we do have extra horses. I forgot about that. I just assumed
my
we all
gosh, you
connected them
guys.
to the I assume we all connected them to my cart so we can move even faster if necessary.
You know what? That'd be the smart thing to do, but
I'm
we
definitely
were
riding
dumbs
one.
and we didn't do that.
Okay. So he hops on, you offer him a horse, he hops on one, and he is a very efficient guide. So essentially it has now eliminated you are not going to get lost anymore.
Yeah, I can hear how fast he's moving.
No.
A plus.
Like those people. For no reason.
No, it's fine. It was very good comedic timing. Good job, motorcycle. Okay. So is there essentially for the rest of this, if you don't have any like questions for him or if you want to talk to him, but otherwise, or have conversations within your group, otherwise you guys are going to make it very easily to the Sanbar Oasis.
Which actually does have questions.
Okay. So as you guys are riding, you've been riding for about an hour. He's a very efficient guide and keeps you on the path. But go ahead.
Rook says, we've been sent to the Oasis for a particular mission. Could you tell me about the area around the Oasis? And essentially he describes what he saw in his vision.
Okay. He
Minus the
Killing the
actual
party.
the actual
artifact, just in case he's not like the high-ranking people we're supposed to talk to.
Okay. So you describe the kind of, for lack of better terms, gazebo built out of stone with the bright, shiny roof and very interesting architecture, very dwarven. And he just cocks his head a little, and says, that sounds like some of the dwarven ruins in a little bit north in the mountains.
Right, thank you.
You would have to check specifically. I don't know off the top of my head which one that may be.
Right. It's a library. There's probably a library there, so I can do some research.
Oh, well, the whole center of the Sanbar Oasis is the main area of the Charcepta archives.
Oh, perfect.
So it's all library.
Right, so like I said,
Okay. Any other questions or anything for him?
What's your favorite color?
I personally happen to enjoy the color of brass.
A
this
really
guy's
good color.
I'm gonna have
It
to
is.
insight check this man on that.
What's
This, this,
color?
this man's evil.
That's a questionable favorite color.
He's a brass dragon,
Brass.
guys.
My God. Elvin rolled a 7. He seems legit.
Seems legit. That's exactly what a DM would say.
Are you a changeling, Kalera?
He looks at you oddly. No, I'm not a changeling.
Okay,
Exactly
I just
what a
wanted to make sure.
changeling would say.
Have you had much dealings with changelings?
Just the one.
Quite a bit more than Snud knows, actually.
Rooks is in fact a changeling.
I am not. Do not believe him.
They are very rare in these parts. Typically, they come from the northern continents.
Well, Rooks is a very rare flower.
No, still not a changeling. You can try to tell him all you want.
Isn't Rooks a changeling?
He says he's not. I mean, I'm not sure anymore.
I'm just gonna start speaking in Elvish. I can't believe they think you're a changeling still, Rook.
By the way, what I still find very ironic is how Snud will believe the two people who lie without reason, but literally one person who actively tells the truth, who
Because
actively
we're
tells
better at lying.
You wear a mask.
the truth.
I know, when the rogue and the bard convince somebody.
I don't think I've ever said Rooks is a changeling.
Never
You
said
know-
he wasn't a changeling. Though.
That is true. I
Rooks
did
is
never say he
retired.
wasn't one.
Brooks literally makes it a point to actively tell the truth.
It's fantastic.
Can't
Maybe
have
they
that truth
convinced
behind
Snud
that
you're a liar.
mask for too long.
He changes underneath that mask.
And the truth is, he doesn't want to take it off.
He's a changeling.
Exactly.
Alright, anyways.
Oh my God. I love that you just the group just has this whole conversation in front of a stranger. You guys are great.
Oh, random person, give us a reason to trust you.
You don't have to trust me. I'm simply just guiding you to the oasis.
Good.
That's hard mood.
And keeping you along the path, which you seem to struggle with.
Yeah, Rooks. Damn.
Weren't you driving this time, Xylobar?
I have no recollection of what you
I
are
think
talking
both times
about.
you got lost.
No. The first time you guys got real lost, it was Snud.
Me and Snud definitely got us lost, but I'm pretty sure Xylobar was the issue the second.
I don't think it was me that got lost. It was Rooks who was driving. No, if we're being honest, it was Black Rose that got us lost.
Don't you ever disrespect her like that again. That's me talking, not Rose.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, guys, I learned a new trick last night. I could make you all wet and stuff.
Yeah, let's keep that in the back pocket until it's useful, Snud.
You can make people.
You don't need to repeat it, Joey.
He just wants to know that you heard that, right? So he's just snickering to himself. You can what?
I mean, pretty hot.
I could make you all soaking wet if you want.
It's,
I think we most certainly do not want right now.
I mean, it's really fucking hot though.
I'm still
Y'all-
wet under my
Y'all can do it outside of the cart. I'm sure Rooks will kill us all if you do it inside of the cart.
Just a little bit.
You are not incorrect.
We hear that,
Little
Rooks. Snud can make you wet.
Oh, I get it. It's a euphemism.
Yeah, a
Rosario,
double entendre from where
I
I'm.
love you.
The thing about it is, what I really appreciate is how Rooks isn't stupid, but he just doesn't get sarcasm.
He's sarcasm like incarnate.
Yeah, but he's unknowingly sarcasm incarnate.
Oh,
It's a double entendre.
Only gets it half the time.
That's why Snud gets all the ladies. He knows the secret of making people wet.
Do it, Snud.
Don't do it in the cart, Snud. Don't do it.
Do it
You
in
don't
the-
want the wrath of Rooks brought down upon.
No, just a
Do
little
it
bit.
up.
I don't
Just-
think the cart can handle 30 gallons of water.
30
I love that
gallons?
Snud would do 30 gallons instead of just the stream.
Okay.
A lot.
How do you make people with Snud? It's just spill the
Yes.
beans.
Do again.
Oh, it's easy. I take my little bottle and then I point it at someone and then I say something.
I'm gonna
like,
jack it out of
"Use
his hand as
geyser,"
soon as he starts to say
and-
words.
So it hits you instead as soon as you grab it.
No, he won't be holding it, so it won't work.
You have to hold it.
For the
don't
sake
know.
of this, hold on.
Yeah, didn't think we'd be making rolls for this, huh? Sorry.
No, so it's just if the stopper is removed. So even if you're holding it, so Elman, as soon as you take it out of his hand and he says, "Geyser, I need you to make a strength saving throw."
Wait, he didn't
Oh,
say he
good
removed the
God.
stopper though, so
He was like, you said you'd take it out of his hand if he went to say something.
but he didn't say he removed the stopper.
Can't say it right now.
I already took it out of his
Remove the
hand.
stopper.
I already
Said
took it
it.
out of his
no,
hand.
It's too late.
It's out of his hand.
Okay.
I didn't hear Shorty cut out or something.
Lies. Don't use my poor
It
internet
was my
connection like
intention
that.
to uncock it and aim it at Joey.
Okay,
Zalvar.
so that was your goal, to uncork it and aim it at
Oh,
Zai.
because he wants to see how it works, so I'm showing him how it works.
Show me right now. Do it.
Okay, okay.
Do it.
So
Dean allows it.
It's just
for the sake of this, Elman, roll a dexterity check. Snud, roll a dexterity check to see who ends up holding it after.
Oh, whoops, that's a save. It's supposed to be a 14. Oh
Oh
no.
God.
Okay, so you try to grab it out of Snud's hands, and he's very small and strong, and just like slips between your legs and aims it at Xylova as this giant torrent of water comes out of it. Zai, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
So the cart's gone, guys.
I'm
I'm assuming this happened like
actually-
during your lunch break, and you weren't like on top
Oh.
of the cart.
We were definitely in the cart when this happened.
Also, either way,
I rolled a 10.
Also, either way, Zylover's in the front with Rooks, so the worst.
Sounds
that
like
can
it's
happen
gonna
is
hit
just
Rooks too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rooks
the
should
water's
have
gonna
saved
hit
too.
Rooks too.
Okay, Rooks, roll a strength saving throw for me.
You guys are
Oh,
assholes.
Don't make me feel bad.
Now I have a +0 to strength.
Oh,
Okay,
Zero higher than
that's
Zai.
fine. You made it. Zai did
Oh,
not.
thank
So Zai, totally unprepared for this. You get blasted with 30 gallons of water. Take 3 points of bludgeoning damage and get like yeeted off the side of the cart.
Oh, my.
And fall prone in the sand. Dr. Rooks, you manage to grab onto the side of the cart and just like are covered in water but aren't like shoved off. Xylova's like thrown over you.
All right, I'm
Oh.
taking it. I'm
Rooks
taking it
just
from him.
dies.
You're taking it from him?
I'm taking the decanter from Snud, and I'm gonna chastise him like he's a little kid now.
All right,
Oh,
maybe
as
maybe
Zai
don't chastise the child for making a mistake.
Okay, I'm gonna sit him down. Snud, come sit on my lap, and I'll like pat my lap.
Fucking just like you just hear the as his legs break
Snud.
all the armor.
I'm
His
gonna,
armor clank, clank, clank. It's not are you?
Snud, I'm gonna have to take this from you until you can be a little more responsible with it.
Well, I was responsible. I showed him how it worked.
But you hurt Xylovar.
Zai covered in water. He just looks at Snud furiously, like "Traknis voy mamu."
You see what you did? You made him curse.
Yeah, Zalofar is very wet right now.
He is
It's
very
fine,
wet.
it's
You
just
have that
still-
effect on people. Like,
Elova will survive with some water on him. Me, on the other hand, these clothes were expensive.
mostly, I
so
just don't
he
want
meant
Rooks
he
to
just-
kill you, Snud.
He looks at Rooks and goes, "Ah, Rooks, looks like you need a hug, buddy."
I swear to goodness.
Okay, and
Gives
after
him the biggest hug ever.
like 5 seconds, I'm gonna give Snud the decanter back because I can't resist his cuteness.
Is Rook
Can't be
doing that
mad
thing
at
where
you.
like his hands are in and he's not hugging him back?
Okay, I promise
Aw.
I'll never say that D word again.
No,
What's
you
the
can
other two
totally
words I can
say
use?
stream and what's the other one?
Fountain.
Fountain.
Geyser.
Stream and fountain. And you can totally say geyser, just aim it at bad guy.
Oh.
Also,
okay.
you are completely right, Holo. Rooks is just sitting there, not hugging back.
Just like
No, but
Standing there.
his clothes are getting wet. They're getting
Alright,
soaked.
well-
He is sharing the wetness.
Well, actually, unlike Zylovar, Rooks actually has backup clothes, so Rooks has to take 10 minutes to change now.
Hey, hold on.
change his mask.
Oh
No, change his clothes. He's not stupid.
no, he sometimes acts it though.
Yeah, listen.
Or, like,
He's
draw a
smart,
smiley
too.
face on his mask.
Oh my
I've already drawn. I
God.
painted on it before.
Um, okay, so I love you guys. Those A+ decanter shenanigans.
Yeah.
I just wanted the decanter just for that. Just have fun with it.
When I rolled and got the decanter, I was like, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be so good. And I was like, I have a
Oh.
feeling that
I
Snud's
have
going
a
to get his hands on
feeling.
this.
I just realized. Oh, this is the first. Oh yeah, Rook changed his clothes. This is the first time Rooks just has his hair down because it has to dry.
Wait, you have hair?
I showed you guys pictures. Do not do this to me, Joey.
Wait, I need to see
Does
that.
it get all curly when it's wet?
No, his hair is dreaded, so it getting wet doesn't really do anything.
I need
To
the
it.
asparagus
You're
picture again.
balding. Brooks, you're balding. You're teeny.
I mean, if you guys want, I can send the picture again.
I want to see the asparagus.
You're balding. You're gonna be like me.
Baldy.
I'm literally not balding. That's not a thing. That's going to happen.
And then he just looks at you and you're like, oh, you're gonna wake up bald.
Sounds like a threat.
That does
Bruh.
sound like a threat.
Everything he says is a threat. Whole until we get to where we need to go, you will be bald like me.
Well, we're having
No.
this while we have a guest.
Yep.
That's not how hair works.
We'll see. We'll see if that's not how hair works.
Oh
It
my
is
gosh.
not. You can read a book and find out.
Hey, it's the asparagus.
Who reads books?
Is that broccoli? Like, oh no, it's a mushroom.
All that.
Oh,
All that.
no.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
God damn, that's an ugly boy.
since we're
Wow.
talking about it, wow,
I
really?
is one talk.
since we're talking about it, you might as well show the stream. Holo,
Huh? Oh,
you could show the stream the broccoli,
yeah, sure.
the asparagus. We
First of all,
lost
it's
Joey.
closer to- First of all, it's closer to asparagus than broccoli.
There we go. For all
Just in
the-
case everyone's wondering what Dr. Rooks looks like.
Yes.
Look at his ears.
Yes,
I never noticed
he
his
is.
ears before. It looks like a bat.
Like I said before, he's much closer to an elf than a human.
See, this is the asparagus I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember the first time you saw it, you're like, oh god, he has asparagus. It's cute.
Oh my god.
Black rose, he's pink. Canonical.
It is not, no, it is not.
You feed her asparagus and she peeks.
Hey, you're back.
I'm back. Oh god, I locked out of it, or fucking my whole browser went nuts.
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, we should probably get back to trying to get back to the Sanbar Oasis.
Okay, yes.
Hold on.
So after Dr. Rook's changes and you guys kind of dry off a little bit and carry on, Snud still has the decanter because Elman can't resist his cuteness. So not much has changed. She just was told to be responsible with it. Calera watched amused the whole time.
Clamato watch the music
Wait.
this whole time.
Clarera.
Wait, are they a girl or a guy?
An elven gentleman.
Dude looks like a lady. Wait. I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
You-
What's going on?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Clara, how old are you?
It's very impolite to ask an elf their age.
Oh, apologies. I don't really
He is
talk
old
to
as
many
shit.
aside, unless I'm doing business with them.
Happens there.
I've never I've never spoken to an elf like you who's actually shown some aging.
You saying he's old?
Damn.
By the way, Rooks is saying that in a completely neutral tone. He
I
clearly
know.
doesn't mean to be rude.
So Zai taps him on the shoulder, says, "You just called them old. Just telling you."
I don't think elves can't get old though, so I don't think I did.
It's like he's trying to get him to understand. You just said you've never seen an elf that showed aging. You are calling him old.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you.
He smiles at you and says, "No offense taken. You are a rather amusing group."
AKA, we're annoying.
AKA, he's the bad guy.
You're gonna ask us to join the dark side, and we're all gonna say yes.
Yeah.
I don't see
They have
why we would
cookies.
say no.
Yeah, I mean, come on, I get to kill things.
If you don't wish to tell your age, that's completely understandable.
It's more that it's been so long that I don't know I could.
Oh, fuck. We love a grandfather in this household. He said, and I guess Rooks just talks to him about elven culture, because that's one of the things Rooks actually always talk about, other cultures and such, etc.
Okay. He's very knowledgeable on the subject that you bring up, as well as, but he does mention that he's lived in the Sanbar Oasis for much of his life, and he just has studied a lot.
Oh, so is he not? Rooks would ask this, I guess. Is he not from Is he not from the surrounding Brightstone kingdoms?
Mm-mm. He is not.
Really, it's very interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm. So you do find that out. He has lived in the Sanbar Oasis for almost all of his life.
Well, that's fun.
Is there
Yes.
any interesting places we should visit in Sanbar Oasis?
There are many interesting places you should visit.
Is there a donut shop?
There is not a donut shop, I don't believe. There are several bakeries. But I don't think any of them make donuts. That's more of a Claris Kingdom thing.
I was lied to. They told me there would be donuts here. I wanted to bring a recipe for donuts, but they told me you guys already had some.
Well, I'm certain that the bakers could more than likely make donuts. They just
Also,
don't sell them often.
do you just want a recipe for donuts? I could just write one for you.
I wanted to sell the recipe for donuts. Lots
can-
of money, and like that, everyone would have donuts all the time, and everyone would be happy.
Well, that is as sweet as that is. These are trained professionals. It would be very difficult to sell them a recipe for something they already know.
Yeah, but it's confusing. I mean, if they already know how to make donuts, why aren't they making donuts?
I mean, you could just make donuts and sell them.
Or maybe they don't like them.
Blasphemy!
Evil.
You can just bake donuts and then sell them. It wouldn't be that
you
difficult.
show me how?
You
bake
can
them with
go
me?
complain.
You want me to bake with you?
Yeah, show me how to make them.
All right. I
Big
do
healing
like
donut.
tea. Yeah, sure. I don't mind teaching things.
Be great, thanks.
You guys are so cute. Okay. The other thing that he does let you know, just in general, kind of like about the Sanbar Oasis, he like just kind of says there are many interesting restaurants and shops. Um, the culture is a little different than what I'm certain you are familiar with. I see many of you come from different areas, but it'll be it'll be entertaining for you. Just warning you, the people in the Sambar Oasis are sometimes a little rude, not intentionally. They just don't have time for pleasantries and are eager to get on to their next project.
Alavar will fit right in.
I mean, I was gonna.
statement.
What it is? I was gonna say it, but it was out of character for Rooks.
He also lets you know that time is very valuable. Like that's a cultural thing for them. Is that time is very, very valuable? No, can't.
Valuable.
Shut up,
Valuable?
I can't
They
talk right
They
now.
use
Vulnerable?
They use Dunamancy to pay for things.
Varietyable?
No. And he also lets you know that the traditional, like, parting greeting is "May the Oasis refresh your minds."
What?
Feels pretentious.
No, it sounds pompous.
Do you
I
guys
mean-
say that?
Out of
Yeah.
character, I said it.
I said it.
Okay. In
It sound-
character?
Yeah.
Okay, he smiles at you and says, "Not pretentious, more of a reminder that in our busy lives that it's nice to sit and refresh one's mind every once in a while so that you continue to have space to learn and grow."
It sounds like an insult. Like you're telling them to go F themselves.
No, it's a gentle reminder to take a break from your projects every once in a while.
Interesting. Interesting. You tell someone to take break by saying "fuck you."
Ignore him.
That gonna
You
be the
just-
new phrase of our party.
Fuck you.
Fuck you?
Oh, ignore him.
Fuck you. No, I like that better.
Alright, put it on the business card.
Fuck.
I'm for it.
Yeah, you can just write "fuck you" on a
It's-
business card.
Oh my
Guys, it
God.
wasn't guys, it was not supposed to be that funny.
It's a pretty good business card.
Oh my goodness. Just handing out business cards that say "fuck you" on them. That's a power move. Oh my god.
That's
Oh.
great.
Someone needs to have that on a coffee mug.
I would pass those
Now
out
I
like
want-
candy.
I want a coffee mug that says "fuck you" now.
Imagine your boss
dude,
just
hold
drinking from a
on.
coffee mug that just
Hold on.
said "fuck you."
Don't y'all don't see those on Amazon?
I mean,
They actually have "fuck you."
no,
mugs.
I know.
They have
It's fine.
everything, dude. It's the internet.
Make a point. Okay, so
Hold on, I want to share this.
this is very important to
It is
have
very-
a coffee mug that says "fuck you" on it. Okay,
Look, it's right here. Right.
beautiful. Thank you. So, any other questions you have about the Oasis as you are walking towards it with your guide?
Does he know who the person we're looking for is?
Who's the person you're looking for?
I can't see my notes. Sorry.
Why can't you see your
'Cause
notes?
I can't load it to roll 20.
Oh,
All my
why
notes
can't
say
you look at the
Roll20.
roll 20, man?
I've been loading in here this entire session. Sorry.
Seriously, again?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Big
I'm so
sad.
sorry.
Well, I
That is
don't
big
know
sad.
who we're
Roll-
looking for because
roll
I don't have
history.
my notes.
All the history.
Yeah,
It's-
really.
What?
Oh,
I was about to ask.
Rosario
I don't
always
remember. I
knows.
don't remember if we're looking for a specific. If we're looking for
Quentin.
the specific boss
Quentin?
of the.
Oh, Shorty has it.
Yeah, it's Quentin.
that's what I said. Sorry. Why do you give me
I
such a
thought
Yeah.
hard
I
time?
also thought Hollow said Quentin. So
Zari's just mad I guessed it right the first time.
oh yeah, I can see why she'd be mad that you guessed it.
Yeah, just like I guessed the stairs would turn into a slide.
Yeah.
And she didn't make it
Oh.
totally obvious that that's what they did when she got me for Maya.
I was mad that you guessed that. I mean, it's fair. It's a very fair point.
mad.
But yes, his name was Quentin, and he was just one of the head archivists.
Is everyone there a
That-
researcher?
Yeah, a lot of them are. But
Yeah.
he's just one of the head archivists in the Charcepta Alliance archive.
Okay,
The Charcepta archives that Brianna specifically trained under, and her word would help you there.
And
Oh.
what are we? Okay, so we're just asking for info so that we can get to the staff for the mask, correct?
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Also, I should ask now: are we going to give them the news about the grimoires, or would they already know by now?
They already know by now and have been
Okay.
working on it. Brianna's been in contact with them. They have systems to talk.
So
No, you can go because you're asking.
I was gonna ask. So does he know the person? Really?
Oh, okay. If you ask him about Quentin,
That's me.
he what?
That's me.
If you ask him about Quentin, he thinks for a little bit and says, "It sounds familiar from my times in the archives, but I don't recall specifically. I've been traveling a lot more recently." Research?
What kind of research?
Wait. So
Oh wait.
if Quinter's the leader of this is out of
He-
character. If Quinter's the leader of an
He's not
entire,
the leader. He's not the Quentin is not the leader.
He's the leader of the section in Pygmy.
yeah, that's what I mean.
No, Quentin is not the leader of the
He's just an
Pygmy
archivist.
archive. Yeah,
That
he's
he's
one of
just someone Bree knew and recommended us
higher
talking
up
to.
archivist. He is not the leader of it.
Yeah, I got the letter of recommendation
Okay,
from
well-
Bree, and she said talk to Quentin.
Well, Bray called him her boss, so I just assumed.
I assume that too.
No.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah. Sorry. Her boss in Pignus, the one who ran off, was Archibald something. I
I
need to
thought
go
that's
look
what
back
we're
at my
looking for.
notes. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to try to look for him.
I'm so confused now. What are we even doing?
But Rooks doesn't care about him. Rooks is
Who's
going to talk to the guy
Quentin?
we were sent to talk to.
So, okay, let me explain. Let me just get you guys all on the same page. So, Archivist Archibald left Pignus to go dig around in ruins under the care, left the Pignus archives under the care of Bree and Jack. And didn't do all his proper warding before he left, which is how the grimoire got corrupted essentially. And so Bree called to the archives and let them know about the grimoire so that they could check on Sati Dia's other grimoires, as well as locate Archibald because he needs to, he fucked up, essentially. So she recommended when Elman was asking about the staff and the location of the staff, she recommended talking to Quentin, who is the person that she personally trained under in the archives and is one of the head archivists. You didn't really ask about the political structure in the archivists, but yeah.
Fair.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I mean, I was asking for the guy who ran away.
Oh,
Well, I'm assuming.
Archibald.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty easy to find the head of the whatever. I want to know if he knows Archibald.
Oh, you're asking Cal. Oh my gosh, I just blanked on my own name. Calera.
Yeah.
That
Amato.
no. He kind of thinks for a moment and says, I believe that Archibald was stationed in the Pignus archives. Looks like things have happened since I've been gone.
You never answered.
He did not. He kind of just looks at you and says, to be completely honest, I research anything and everything. I don't have a specialty.
But what have you? Are you researching?
Researching right now, I was actually working on classifying some of the local ruins.
What can you tell me about grimoires?
He looks at you very curiously. And how might you know that information?
The secret information.
Me.
Supposed to never tell anybody.
I fucked up one of their generals.
What happened?
He's confused.
Make a deception check.
Ugh. 11 plus 11, so 21.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
He kind of looks at you and then looks back to his eye and
Oh wait,
says,
22.
There you go. That's math. He looks back to Zai and says, "What happened with the grimoire? And how do you know that?"
We killed one of the
I'm
generals.
just gonna throw something inside.
A ball bearing.
A ball bearing. yeah.
Or-
We're going back to chucking ball bearings at Zai.
Yep, apparently. Fucking throwing shit at me.
I would like to know the answer. Were you involved with a grimoire?
Every time he starts mentioning something.
Oh my god. Why?
He's
Yes.
looking at all of you now. Is someone going to answer?
I make
You
an
Oh,
can
insight
be
check.
our
Yeah, you
guide.
can make
I
an
would
insight
like
check. Dr. Rex,
ask.
what are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for why he cares about that all of a sudden.
Okay.
I would ask
Fucking
him in
crazy.
like confirming manner. You do work for the archives, yeah?
Yes, I do work for the archives.
Yeah, so I don't know why we
Oh,
would
anyway.
need to keep it a secret from him. He's gonna
What?
find out as soon as he gets back.
I'm gonna. Does he have like a pack or something?
Yeah, he has a satchel.
Okay, I'm gonna look through it.
Yikes! That is
He-
a 9 insight.
It's on him on a horse.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not in the cart with us.
Oh wait, he's not.
No, he's been on a horse
Then we'll
next
just
to
steer
us.
away from him. Not answer.
Okay. Dr. Rooks, he's hard to read as to why he cares, but he's mentioned
I
that
could
like
also
he's
fly. I mean,
you can't I mean, you can certainly try to you'd have to it would be very gnarly checks to try to dig through a man's satchel that's on him on top of a horse.
Plus, I'll be looking at him and tell him that you're doing it. So, but I'll
but I
continue.
wouldn't know that you would call
Basically,
me out like that.
basically in Pignus we were there, and the grimoire beneath that archive. I guess the wards were set up improperly, so the primordial that was locked there, or whatever it is, came out, and we helped slay it or reseal it or whatever.
Hmm.
I killed it. I sent it to wherever it belonged.
This is the DM talking. That's totally false information. It cracks me up. Jack sealed it away. But he just looks kind of down for a second and says, "That's awful to hear that things are stirring like this. Apparently been away for too long." Well, thank you for telling me. I'm sorry that you got mixed up in the Tricepta Archives mess.
Well, it's okay. It's just something that happened while we were in town.
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead and roll an insight check. Why is there a random triangle with the 3 on it on the screen, and how did it get there?
12.
Yikes.
What are you checking specifically?
Like, I don't know, does it seem me have like bad intentions? Or just like, is he lying about what he's
No.
saying?
He's not lying. He's concerned.
Kill him anyway.
You're killing him?
Fucking slay him, Cass. Get it?
Are we killing him?
And
Are
it's
we
a
fighting him?
prize, so it's a crit.
Anyways,
Wow.
Candle.
Pop off,
Are
Cass.
we
Roll
I
actually
damage.
swear to
killing him?
God, stop spawning 3s all
Roll
over the
damage,
map.
Cass.
I can't go. I would have killed him, Zari, if I could see the roll 20.
I would
Uh-huh.
love for you to try and slay this level 15 caster.
I'm telling he's a bit bad. He'll
Rooks
just
doesn't
wander in the
have
desert.
Rooks doesn't have any more questions.
Hey, are
Okay.
we? Are
Was
we
he? He was
actually gonna
wandering on
kill him?
foot.
He was just walking on foot.
This
Candle's
guy's
gone.
evil.
Are we killing him?
Was he yelling
No,
at him
we're
for
not
putting
killing him.
trees?
Oh, I got scared. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm all for killing things, but this guy, I don't know anything about this guy.
Has that stopped you
Hilarious.
before?
Larry, you said
That's-
you
that's
were
out of
visiting
character
ruins and
talking.
cataloging them. Is there any interesting ruins that you see nearby? You just came back from a hospital ruin where they had a lot of patients.
He looks at you curiously. Patience in a ruin?
Yeah, there were a
killed
lot of
him.
people in bandages.
Killed a Medusa.
Oh, that's rather odd to hear. There was a Medusa in a ruin. Typically, they take up residence in places that have a little bit more attraction because they try to entice travelers and warriors like yourself to fight them and turn to
Maybe
stone.
it was like their timeshare, their vacation home,
Their
their vacation
timeshare
room.
That could be. Where was this ruin?
over there.
Over there, like we could see it.
It's like a day and a half over there direction.
Over there.
Brooks
We got
points it out
lost.
on the
There's
map.
no way we know where it is.
The rainbow.
Oh my god. Okay,
Brooks
you give
just
him.
points it out on the map.
Okay, you give him kind of general directions, and he says, "This is rather interesting. I don't believe that we've cataloged this one yet."
Also, there's a sarcophagus in there. There ain't shit in there.
Well, if the Medusa's taken up residence, I would presume that she has either disposed of or taken care of whatever was there.
Is there any ruins in the area that would be interesting?
Oh, why, there's plenty of interesting ruins in the area.
Is there one with dragons?
Good God.
There are not typically dragons in ruins here.
Any with
Aw.
powerful artifacts you know of.
Oh, plenty, but the archives has access to all of them.
Ugh.
To the archives.
Is there? Said you were cataloging the ruins. Is there ruins that the archives don't know about yet?
Oh, well, you apparently stumbled upon one of them. There's plenty of ruins that the archives don't know about yet.
You share that information?
Well, if we don't know, how can we share it?
I was
But,
just about to
I
say the
mean,
same
you
thing.
said you were cataloging ruins on your own, and I'm asking you if you know of ruins that the archives don't know about yet.
I know a great many things.
Oh, so now he's talking in riddles?
Do you know do you know the amount of frustration you're giving me right now?
Was that candle or snot?
That was Snud.
No,
This guy
do you know how?
broke Snud. And I'm angry.
Was that snot?
You're pissing off Snud. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
He smiles and says, "Well, if there's secret ruins, if I tell you, they won't be a secret."
I'm really good at
Oh,
keeping
good.
secrets.
I'm certain you are, as
You-
you just managed to tell a complete stranger you weren't positive was involved in the archives or knew about the grimoires that you had contact with one.
I never said that.
I made a check to make sure you were part of the archive, so I'm pretty confident.
you made a check.
And if you were,
I roll
and
an
if you
inside
weren't-
check. You can trust me.
I rolled an insight check.
This
You
guy's
can
just
trust
like,
if
these
you
me.
guys
weren't
are
a part of
psychos.
the archives, and if you weren't
Oh.
a part of the archives, I probably would have killed you after I told you.
Mm-hmm. Well, good to know that you have the archive's best interest in mind.
He does.
Alright, I'm starting to lean towards kill this guy.
Why do you guys want to kill this old man?
He's so
None of
pretentious.
He's
his
an
heart. He's so
elf.
frustrated.
He's an elf!
I
He's
hate
lived
him.
long enough. He's lived long enough.
Wait,
Also,
it's
that
kind of
doesn't
hard to
change-
hear
that
you
doesn't
from
change-
on your horse. Why don't you join us on the car?
Guys, we can't keep doing this.
But
I'm
he's
just-
the worst.
Is he gonna join
Brooks.
us on the cart? Sorry,
What?
I said it's kind of hard to hear you when you're on your horse.
My
Why don't you
horse.
join us on the cart?
I mean, yeah, he would if you wanted him to. It's hard for him to help navigate if he's doing
I'll-
that.
I'll take his horse.
Fine.
Okay, he'll go sit in the cart with you guys.
No, I'm on his
Hey
horse
guys,
now.
that's gonna take. That's gonna
Now
take
I
us
like
even
your
longer to
Sanzari.
get there.
Sorry.
Now you what?
Just
I
prepare
look
for
through
this
his
guy
stuff.
to die.
What?
I look through his stuff.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Sleight of hand.
Well, you gotta like try to hide from him so he doesn't notice you as you're doing
I mean, it's
this.
kind of hard to hide in a cart.
Okay. Here's what I'm
Listen,
saying.
dog.
You
Listen, my dude.
you can snatch things from his satchel with sleight of hand. You just won't be able to really see what you're getting, and you can't like necessarily look through it in front of him.
Listen, how about
Isn't your
Also,
stealth and
stealth
sleight of hand the
also-
same?
Yeah.
I would have.
Why
I
do you
would've-
care
I don't
then?
know, because I never get to use sleight of hand.
I would make you roll both.
Also, stealth isn't like you hiding behind like one of Rook's cabinets. Stealth is you making
I
it
rolled
seem like you're not
26
trying to
or
steal
something.
from him.
26.
Like, actually, what did
Yeah.
you get?
I rolled a 26. What?
Yeah, he rolled a
I mean,
16
we could
plus
kill
5.
him and then loot through his stuff.
Okay, and go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
It's gonna be terrible. I could taste it.
Roll for initiative. We're all
24.
gonna kill this guy.
Okay. He doesn't seem to notice you as he's talking with whoever else is in the cart. He doesn't seem to notice you like slipping out of the conversation and going around to a point where you can access his satchel. But as soon as you put your hand on it, he looks at you, turns and looks at you and says, "I'd appreciate if you wouldn't go through my things. That's rather rude."
This isn't where my ball bearing.
There, worthy of getting killed. So what you're saying is now's the time
How
we
high
jump
is
in.
this guy's perception? He saw a 24 sleight of hand. Jesus Christ!
Oh,
This guy's a god.
hold on.
Oh my god.
I like how you guys think he's a big bad evil guy, but you guys are the worst.
We're the big bag evil guys.
Literally,
Oh
they're
my-
just bullying this old man.
Yeah, you guys are bullying this old
Whoa.
man.
Alright,
But then
he's a
again,
dick.
it's tradition to be a dick. Ain't it?
Don't be pretentious, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Always.
pretentious in the middle of the desert. You're gonna get killed.
You are a group of strangers who knows information that's secret to an organization that just waved it all around. Of course he's going to get a little pretentious and concerned
fair,
for his
that was I.
organization.
I can't wait to wave
Why
it
has
around
that
for real
effect
to
on
random
people?
people. I'm about to start an uproar in the country.
I can't
Apparently.
wait to call him out to the archive saying he was leaking Grimoire secret information to random strangers.
We
You
are
guys
gonna
are you
kill
guys are
him.
gonna leave a bad Yelp review.
I'm gonna organize a riot against the archives. That's my
Yeah.
new life mission.
We're taking
Screw
it
the staff.
over.
We're gonna riot on the archives. Can I?
Yes,
join?
sir.
Anyways,
Yes, sir.
sorry,
You
how
can.
how long are we writing for?
Okay. Oh my
Are we
freaking
gonna
god.
No more
Out.
Oasis refresh or whatever. It's fuck you as a greeting.
Oh yeah. By the way, sorry. When I got on the horse, I started writing the "May the Oasis refresh your mind" because I'm gonna give it to him when we
May the always.
You started writing it where?
on one of our business cards.
Okay. Okay. So
There's a
I
lot of
think that
threes on this
I
map.
think that now is a good place to take a break quickly, and then
Sounds
when we
good.
get back, we will fast
Probably
forward to
kill
you
this
guys
guy.
entering the Sanbar Oasis.
We're
If you have
killing
no other
people.
business before then.
Probably
Also,
gonna
when
kill
we
him
get there,
before we
guys,
go.
I will be able to pass out all the potions I
And
made.
we'll level up when we get there.
Oh,
No.
nice, dude! I'll go turn
No.
myself to 9 right now.
No,
Wait, yeah.
9?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
You're
we are
10.
8.
No,
Oh
you're
shit,
not.
we're 9. I need to level up to 9
No.
real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh
Wait,
my
we're
god.
leveling up to 9.
No, we're leveling up to
Guys!
10 apparently.
You
Alright,
know,
let's go on break. I'm thirsty.
this is why I have anxiety. My
Oh
god.
my god.
And we're on break.
And we are back. Thanks for chilling with us over our break. So let's just jump straight back into it. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss with Clarera before you head into the Sanbar Oasis?
Not for me.
Okie dokie. So as you travel
Wait.
throughout.
Sorry. Go,
Yes.
Finish what you were saying.
No, I'm gonna like push through time wise. So if there's something else, wait. Yes, go.
Okay. But like, can I search him while he's sleeping?
Thank God. How long do you think we're in this cards?
A day? No?
So are you guys stopping for the evening?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
how far
are
are
we
we?
going to be? I'm about to say, are we going to be going through the night?
Yeah. Well, are you guys going through the night, or what are you doing?
How far are we? I asked him.
A day and a half.
Oh, yeah. You guys were a day and a half with the idea that you stopped for the night.
Right, but how many hours does he think we are away?
Well, what? I mean, if it's the evening, he would evening, and you're asking, he would say probably about 6 to 8 hours. Like you'd be arriving
Oh,
in the mid afternoon
Oh.
yeah.
the next day
Probably
if you
should
woke up.
But
probably
we
shouldn't
could
push through the
stop.
night.
Stop.
So you are stopping.
Stopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaping out of the cart, and I'm taking a nap on the side of the road.
Just straight up on the side of the road taking a nap. Okay, so Cass, you're going to search him while he's sleeping?
Oh,
Okay,
God.
elves don't sleep, they trance.
Oh.
Um,
Meditate.
Of course, this guy's that much of
it's literally an elvish
What?
trait.
Yeah,
What
so
is
Learning
it?
his
He doesn't even
biology.
sleep.
fucking elves are too good to sleep.
They look down on the rest of the creatures because we sleep.
They're like, ha, time wasted by sleep.
Is he distracted? Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so he helps keep watch for Heart of the Night, but when he does go into his meditation, you may certainly try. So his pack is not around him; it's sitting next to him.
Is he like on his like crisscross applesauce? Like, right?
Yes, yes. No,
Indian
I mean
style?
yes.
Crisscross applesauce. What are we, in kindergarten?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I don't
Yes
know.
or no?
I don't know what elves are.
Sorry, what?
You don't know what an elf is?
I'm really tired
Excuse
right
me?
now. I'm sorry, guys.
You
No,
want me to send you a
I'm
picture of an elf?
ask know what elves are. I don't want to fuck with this.
Okay. So you're not doing it. Okay.
Like you were
Well then,
crying.
the evening. Oh my gosh, guys! The evening passes uneventfully. You guys keep watch, and nothing else seems to happen. And then the next morning, you continue along the way. At about mid-afternoon, you crest over the top of a small sand dune, and you peer down into what seems to be a small valley in the desert. The mountains kind of rising north of it. The first thing that you take in is there's a very large expanse of walls, very tall walls, and a glimpse of turquoise waters that rush down the mountain and into this city, so into the walls. Both gates that you can kind of see are coming from kind of the southwest. Both gates seem to be framed by large statues. They're taller than the expanse of the walls in reddish sandstone, wearing long robes. At each gate, one of them holds a book, and the other has their hands resting on the hilt of a sword that's like in the ground. Then, as you're looking, something off to the west of the city, outside the gate, kind of draws your attention very quickly. You see that there's other tall figures, much like the statues. Their forms, however, are shining the sunlight as though like a reflection off Snud's shield. So several appear to be human shaped, though, are much larger and bulkier. Others seem to be no more than piles of metal, and there's small shapes of humans like moving around them and in and out of tents. So there seems to be these very large metallic statue-looking things all in like an area off to the west. The road leads up to the southwestern gate, and there's several houses and like tents and stables along the outside. The whole area is teeming with people. So, any clarifying questions before you head into the Sanbar Oasis?
So what you're telling me is that there's a lot of people.
There's a ton of people.
Hmm. They're all
Sure.
assholes.
Is there what?
Is there a border or something? A border patrol?
Make a perception check.
Right, amigos. Must up.
Okay. You can't quite make it out. You're pretty far off. Still. Okay. So you guys continue down the road and head closer to the gates.
Hello?
Every Candle, are you good? Okay, cool. So you continue down the road and head closer to the gates. It leads up to the southwestern gate, and you get closer to the statues and the gates, and the sheer height of these walls is almost overwhelming. These are really, really tall walls, like a couple 100 feet tall. And the statues are very intimidating. As you pass through the gates and look up, you see a crest over the top of the gate. It's a small circle that has a book inside and an hourglass on it. So, Dr. Rooks, will you make a religion check for me?
Yeah, sure.
Arcana.
Oh,
No, Cass. You do not need to make an Arcana check.
It's mine.
It's
Just make it anyway.
oh yeah, I have a +3 religion. All right, that's cute.
That's cute.
He rolled a 9.
okay. You figure the statues and the figures of the statue is something to do with something, but you're not quite sure.
Something to do with
Yes.
everything has something to do with something. So
He rolled a 9.
Hold on.
No, you don't have experience with this.
what I do.
I mean,
The hourglass book. Symbol of the hour.
yes, thank you.
Ah, yes, the hourglass.
They're known for reading books in a very fast time. Asshole.
They're assholes. Oh my gosh.
All right, so
Fire,
we
yeah.
need to look for the we need to get to the person we're looking for.
Okay. So you guys go into the city, and I didn't finish the map, but if you would like to see it, I can pull it up for you guys. It's not done.
Please.
It's not done, but it was my first time using this new program, and it worked
Sorry,
pretty well,
reading dinner.
actually.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You can even hear all the
Oh
dogs.
my god.
You can
Hold
even
on.
what?
So you can even hear all the dogs they have.
I'm gonna die if I don't have. It's too.
You're fine.
Goodness,
So anyways, it's not finished. I will get it next week. But
Like a jape.
Hold on.
oh yeah. Actually, I can totally send you that. Hold on. Oh.
It looks really good. I might use this program.
It costs money.
Oh, yikes.
You're
never
welcome
mind.
to use it. I
Oh,
just
yikes.
know you. Attach file. Can you? Oh.
Too big.
That's not bad. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at all the hard work that Zari put in.
My God.
Oh.
That's
hard.
awesome.
You hand the map?
Oh my gosh. I just sent it to you.
Is that real
I was
sand,
being-
sorry?
Yes, it is real sand.
I was
That I
being
totally
genuine.
I
Oh,
drew
an asshole.
every single
And now I could show the stream out of
I drew every single particle of
I
sand.
like that
all
emote
by
though,
my lonesome.
Joey. I don't know what it is.
Wait, what emote? I'm missing things.
It's a
Are those
bongo
cows?
cat.
Oh, they're bongo cats. I love them.
Did you say it's
Okay.
like cow? Sorry, wait. Can we just pause?
Wait, hold
You think
on.
bongo cow is a fucking
Bongo
cow?
Okay, I'm blind.
You know
And
what?
it looks like the little bongo is like his nose, and then the cat is like the ears of the cow. I don't know.
Oh wait, I'm beginning to see what you.
See?
It kind of looks like a
Okay.
monkey rather than a cow.
Anyways,
What the
so
hell?
it's not finished. I ran out of time. I'm also learning a new program, so it was really fun. But essentially, this is kind of the layout of the city, so you can see the general layout and where the oasis, as well as the walls and everything.
Wait, there's water in the oasis?
There's water in an oasis?
You know the blue parts? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
colorblind, sorry. You're trying to make fun of.
Stop it. No, we're not
Well,
playing the
How
reindeer
many
game yet.
geysers would it take for me to flood the entire oasis?
Yes.
All
Please,
of
Ari,
them.
Let him do it.
All of them.
It's not,
Oh my goodness.
you just need to leave the fucking decanter there and just leave your stone next to it. It's hidden somewhere. And then every day you just speak the word.
I'll tape the sending stone to the decanter.
Geyser.
I mean, you could get 35 geysers out of one sending.
Do it.
Wait, it doesn't need to recharge. You can just do it constantly.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
It's
once
just one-
a
It
day.
doesn't say anything about a recharge.
Yeah. Thank you for demonstrating. Okay. So, as you guys walk into the city, it is huge and there's a lot going on. You see houses, you see people bustling around. You are met with beautiful palm trees, and to your right, just a giant expanse of water. There's people in boats and different like canoes and rafts going across the water. As well, like enjoying it, as well as lots of people walking around. Their style of dress is a little bit different than what you've seen before. It's a lot less like leathers and tight clothes and formal wear, and a lot more like robes, a lot of robes, and just different beautiful textiles and all of that. So it's cool. The other thing that you notice is that everybody who like all the races who have lighter color skin are darker here because it's sunny as shit. And
I thought
the
you
other
said
thing that
I'm so tired. I thought you said it's funny as shit. Like you thought that was
no,
funny.
sunny, sunny.
Sunny
Jesus
shit?
I was
Christ!
like, why is that funny?
No,
like,
it's
like
just
they're
bright.
sunburned. It's funny.
Yes. And the other thing that you notice is that there's several like there's quite a few dragonborn mixed in with the city. You guys haven't seen very many dragonborn in the Claris Kingdom, as well as lots of dwarves.
Do I see any
Giant
dragonborn
dogs.
paladins? My kin?
Make a perception check.
Oh god. Oh god. So Zai turns to Rooks and he's just like,
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Whoa.
Oh,
You see dragonborn, but not dragonborn paladins. You're very distracted by the water. You want to go splash in it because it's hot,
Mm.
and you're baking in your armor.
He can't
he's
swim,
baking
remember?
donuts. Baking donuts.
He's baking donuts in his armor. No. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah, but when Zylovar says that, Rook says, yes, Dragonborns who don't know you and have nothing to do with what happened If you don't like it, you can just stay in the hotel room for our time here. We won't be here long either way.
Leave him in there. He's gonna take everything from the snack bar, the mini bar. Gonna
What's
pay.
up?
Bruh, I give gold coins away like candy. I doubt it matters.
Okay, so you are set free upon the city. What would you like to do? What are you trying to accomplish? Where are you going?
Straight to the archives.
I love how you assume that's the archives.
He said it was
You
in the
right?
middle of the city.
We have to look for the guy, so I guess Rooks will just ask our new traveler. So we were looking for someone who's higher up on the ring. Where would we go?
Well, to the archives, I suppose. You'll want to travel along this road north, and actually, I'm heading there myself. I can take you there.
Wonderful.
Is he pointing to the building in the middle of the?
So, yes, he is pinging the building in the middle of the lake with all the trees
Can I just
around it.
fly over there?
And
H stands for a archive.
Sorry,
No.
can't spell.
For archives?
you know what? You don't need to call me out like that, okay?
And the funny thing is, it was supposed to be an I.
I thought H stands for ham off.
Ham hock. Oh my gosh.
Off.
Actually,
Damn.
as you guys travel along the path north, your companion lets you know that all of the buildings, everything inside the water, so that includes this whole inner area surrounded by the rivers, as well as this in the center, are all the archives.
The rivers. Yeah.
That's a lot of books.
Mm-hmm. So he leads you there, and you guys go across the bridge. And this whole area, the bridge across the river, and this whole area there's a lot more buildings in there that just aren't there right now. But essentially, you see three very large buildings that kind of frame like a square, and then there's a bunch of different buildings around there. And he explains that the buildings on the side are homes for people who work in the archives, or different dormitories, or for people who are just staying there for part-time or training there, and or buildings that are made to serve the archives. So they have like their own private people who like build or who maintain armor for them, and who do different like weapons, and who etc. and so forth. And so the whole center area is owned by the archives, and the city that surrounds it is just like part of the city. And so he informs you that the long building in the center is the main of the archives, and that the two other buildings are more meeting rooms and lecture halls and different study spaces for people who have offices who are like primary, and that a lot of the people who work in and are lower down have like spaces in their dormitories and other buildings. The lone building in the center island is actually a temple.
Hmm.
So that is kind of the layout that he explains to you guys as you are seeing all this for the first time. Immediately as you cross like onto the, for a lack of better term, island, it feels a little bit cooler because you're surrounded by water, and there's a lot of trees, and it's really shaded and pleasant here, and it's very nice after
Palm
traveling
trees
in
or
the
like
desert
regular
for
trees?
days. Palm trees. So, okay. What would you like to do? What are you trying to do?
Yes, find the guy.
Ask around for Quentin.
Okay. So, Clarera takes his leave of you and thanks you for traveling with him.
I
And
hand him the card I made.
Okay. He looks at it and nods, says, "Thank you," and then leaves and starts heading down one of the paths towards some of the dormitories. You guys are in the center square, and are you trying to like ask around?
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
So will you make an investigation check for me? Okay. So you pull aside one of the students and kind of ask if they know a Quentin who works in the archives. And after asking around for about 5 or so minutes, one of them is like, "Oh yes, he's one of my teachers," and tells you that he this time of day is more than likely in the main archives themselves, and gestures towards the big building and says that he typically takes up residence and works in the artifacts area.
Perfect. I go to the artifacts area.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
by the
guys.
way,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, Dr. Rooks is going to really quick hand out the potions that he made during the month.
Okay, to the party.
Yeah, to the party. Sorry, I should have explained.
It's like
just
you're
hands
giving
to a random
potions to random
person.
people.
Because you're the problem child, he hands a greater healing potion to Cass.
You're a problem.
Alright, fine. You don't need it. It's fine.
I don't need it.
Anyway, he sends a greater healing. He gives a greater healing potion to Cass. He takes a greater healing potion for himself. He can give it to other people. He gives a healing potion to Snud. Snud is a god and probably has 1,000,000 health and AC. And then he gives a rating healer potion to Xylobar.
Okay, did you guys get that all?
Sure.
You got a regular healing potion?
Yeah, Snud got a regular healing potion.
Fine.
If it makes you feel better, Snud Elman got nothing.
Yeah, because
Elman's
Elman's
Because
totally
Rooks hates
one to
Elman.
run into the. Yeah, because Elman's totally the one to run into a fight.
I don't think I've seen you like run into a fight ever. In the dragon fight, you were looking through loot as I died in 1v1.
I wouldn't call
And I
that
was
a
dying. What the hell?
1v1.
Still 1v1. You guys
I
took-
call that you hiding in a corner.
It was a 1v1. I watched the fight. Guys around for like
Snud, if you're putting it into D&D Beyond, it would just be Potion of Healing.
Thanks.
The other ones, it would be the same thing, but it has greater after it. By the way, I gave it to Cass because he's always about to die.
It's okay. I mean, not like Medusa almost had my ass on a platter.
someone like I fucking actually turned it to stone.
Okay, guys.
I mean, yeah,
You
but
don't
Guys.
want it. You don't have
You're
to take
fine.
it. Just give it to Elman.
You're
Guys.
fine.
God.
I mean, look
Anyways,
at
let's
you.
continue.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh my goodness.
You
Okay.
didn't die.
Anyway, now that all the potions are handed out, so you guys walk into this gigantic building. They're huge double doors, the same insignia that was on the front gate over the top of the double doors, and actually there are two similar statues, just considerably smaller, on either side of the doors. And as you guys kind of walk towards them, you actually watch as one of the statues moves. Their head just like moving a little bit, looking over and going back.
So Zai just grabs the handle of his axe, just like looking at it like,
There's other students and like other archivists walking through, and they don't seem to be concerned.
I would like to find your reception area.
Okay. You guys walk in, and immediately there's desk. There's you see like a front desk, like a desk kind of off to the side, and then you see actually the archives open up and it's just walls and aisles and so many books, and it like there's a first level and then there's actually a second level around the outside that there's different spiral staircases going up to it. You also see there's a huge theme of like this gold throughout, kind of spiraling up the pillars, and there's also, you see in between a lot of the books, you see different people going between them, and like some of them are wearing similar robes to what Clarero is wearing, as well as you see robes that are kind of like a deeper gold color. So, but it is massive, and it's really bright in here. The whole like top right above the ceiling is all windows.
Rooks is ecstatic. Rooks is like looking around, and he's looking at all the books other people has. My gosh, I've never seen the first edition of this volume. Look at this one. They have 38 sections just about the history of this place. And he doesn't notice, but he's starting to like literally like float.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what are you guys doing in the archives?
Finding
is
someone
fan-
and asking
Brooks
where
is
the artifacts
fangirling.
are. I'm gonna find someone and ask where the artifacts section is.
Okay. There's like a front desk area, and you ask, and they direct you pretty easily. It's kind of off in the northwestern area of the archives, and so you walk between all of the different books and stuff, and actually it's rather hilarious. Well, it's organized, it's like kind of organized chaos, and so it would be very difficult to find the archive section if you hadn't stopped to ask for directions, and if you didn't like check in with people along the way. It would be very easy to get lost among these shelves. They're not like super neat, orderly rows, and sometimes there's ones that are framed different ways. There's also a couple of like every so often there's like different tables or different like kind of empty carts, and there's books piled upon them. uh there's a lot of an attitude of people getting in the middle of projects and getting excited to the next thing and just like leaving it behind for later type thing. So after walking through the archives for, I would say it takes you a good like 7-ish minutes to get back there. You get to a section that you're like, I'm pretty sure this is the artifact section. There's tons of people in the aisleways.
There's tons of people, huh?
Not like tons, but there's like a good 10 or 15 people in this area.
Alright, I'm just gonna scream at the top of my lungs, Quentin.
Nova, they have three editions of encyclopedia just about incantation based artifacts.
I love the nerding out that's happening because me. Okay, so Elman, what are you doing? Sorry.
I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs, Quentin.
Okay, everybody stops and turns and looks at you.
Man, everyone's name must be.
No, he just yelled in a fucking library.
Now that I have everyone's attention, I'm gonna do like jazz hands and cast minor illusion and make the word Quentin appear in between my hands and tell everyone to show me where he is.
Wow.
Just Quentin.
Sarcastic jazz hands. Amazing. I love it. Okay.
Or communicate with assholes, you have to be an asshole.
Yes. So one of the people like just kind of points, and you see older human gentleman in the dark gold robes who just walks up to you and says, that would be me. What can I do for you?
Quentin, my good man. One of your friends, I suppose, from Picnic sends me, Bree. She sent this letter as well, and I'll whip out.
He skims it super fast and says, okay, how can I be of service?
Is Rooks still
Oh.
nerding out somewhere?
Yes.
I'm gonna
I mean,
drag
Oh.
Quentin
probably
towards
with you.
Rooks.
Okay.
Okay, if he's right by us, I'm gonna interrupt Rooks and say, Rooks over here.
Rex.
Can't believe Brooks died.
Okay, well,
Brooks is done dead, and I
I'll
watched
be
him die.
Rooks for the next 5 seconds.
All right, boys.
Boy, so this is what's going to
What?
happen.
He is not
All right,
Australian.
Governor.
What the heck? I'm gonna use this second to actually plug my laptop in. Hold on.
Right, so this is what's going to happen now.
I died.
Zai, shut the hell up before I hurt you. And what do you want?
That was a terrible impression.
Hello, Governor.
Anyways, what happened?
We pulled you over to talk to Quentin and tell him about the staff. We are
Oh, right.
Okay, my
What's that?
laptop's not
Oh.
dying anymore. What's up?
Rook says, "Oh, right. I'm sorry. I almost forgot why we were here. We're here. We're here on a mission from our employer, and I need your help finding an artifact in an area near here.
And what might this artifact be?
Do you have somewhere private we could speak, perhaps?"
Certainly. You come from Bree, so I suppose I can take the time. And he says, we can meet in my office, and leads you back out the archives and to the building on the right in the kind of corridor. And on the first level, after a little while, you guys walk and you see rows of doors. Oh, sorry, I punched my microphone. You see rows of doors, and he opens one of them with a key, and it's a very, very messy office. So there's books piled everywhere, like not only on shelves, but also like piled legitimately on the floor, and papers everywhere, half-written journals open. I mean, if there were fantasy coffee cups, I don't know, but like he has coffee cups and like half forgotten drinks everywhere.
I think
Um,
cups exist. Sorry.
yes, I know, but like I don't know if there's mugs.
They're
You know,
ceramic.
There's
sure, why
and where we've been drinking
this-
ale out of.
not? Steins. Okay,
That's a mug.
Yeah.
you know what? It's my
Honestly-
world. There's coffee cups.
The thing about it is, a stein of coffee makes sense for college students.
Who the f- drinks
And-
a stein of coffee?
I
Me,
do.
Students,
Every
like
morning.
I said.
me in college totally would have.
Anyways,
He kind of looks around and is like, sorry, there's not room for all of you, I guess.
It's
And-
okay. I don't have to come in. I've got my own things to do. So Stun will leave and go back to the reception area.
Okay.
Follow him.
So Cass is going with Snud.
Unless
Zai, are
guys
you
already
staying with-
come.
Rooks and Elman.
yeah, Rooks is just gonna continue his conversation with this nice man. Yeah, what
Okay.
does he look like?
You don't know if he's
He
nice.
he's human. He has blonde-ish hair, darker skin, and looks like I mean, kind of darker skin, but also like looks like he spends a lot of time indoors. He wrinkles, but like kind of like the smiling type wrinkles. And he like has a splotch of ink on his face and looks like he's ruffled and has been studying all day.
Cool. And what's his name again?
Quentin.
Cool.
Jazz hand.
How could you forget his name after Elman fucking jazz hand minor image it?
Again, Elman consistently making power moves. Anyways, yeah,
You're not
Rooks takes a nice little seat and like, all right, so we were sent to look for something that might be in this area, but I'm not sure if you. I'm sure you can give us information on the area, but I'm not sure if you could help us with where this artifact might be.
Okay. Well, what is the artifact?
Hold on. I'm opening up my note. It's just called the Staff of Ebony, right?
As far as you guys know.
Okay. He's like, we're looking for one of the. God damn it, my notes. I hate everything. It's fine, whatever. He's like, we're
Yes,
looking for.
take notes.
I'm sure you have knowledge on the gods considering, and
Yes.
currently we're looking for the Staff of Ebony.
Very interesting. We actually just found information on it not but a year ago.
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
You're very lucky that you come with the highest recommendations from Bree, otherwise I wouldn't be able to give you this information. But
Well, we would have found it either way. This just makes it easier.
Gun says, so the Staff of Ebony, from what I know, there are different artifacts from God that they created to help counterbalance their partner. The Staff of Ebony is made to for the, what the texts say are very it's hard to tell what they do exactly. There's varying accounts and it seems to vary for each person. Some people can get them to do more, some people can't quite get them to do much. And so it depends.
I'm assuming because of the nomadic nature of her religion, it makes it a lot harder.
Well, that's how it is for all of these artifacts that we've been trying to research and track down.
Except some of them are more so being hidden.
Yes, some of them are. However, this one we actually tracked down to an ancient dwarven ruin north of here in the mountains.
Yes, I saw it in a vision I had.
That's rather odd, but okay. But it is, oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this name because I cannot say these things to save my life.
Say
But it
things that
is
you made up.
yes, I know, but like they're based off different things, and I suck at pronouncing things consistently. Um.
My next character's name.
Oh
And
my god.
Bagley. Ham Hock and Bagley.
Oh,
Yeah,
seriously?
Sounds like the perfect
Seriously?
duo.
Seriously?
Hawk and
Okay.
Bagley's crazy adventures.
It does sound like a pretty cool duo. Okay. So he starts pulling out maps and looking through different notes, specifically to track down where it is for you guys. And after about, I would say 5 minutes of him rifling through papers and journals and books, he goes, aha! And pulls out a map for you and starts marking frantically a place kind of in the northeastern side of the mountains. And he says, this old dwarven rune was named Kemelzi. And and it is, as far as we know, deserted. There's no one there anymore. It's a old underground kingdom that has fallen, and the Staff of Ebony, for whatever reason, was left inside. We assume that a previous cleric or person who had their hands on it was part of this kingdom when it fell.
Is it still in there?
Yes, so it is still in there.
Then let's go.
Interesting.
Coming.
Brooks whispers, and you're sure you don't know how it got in there?
Not quite. It's rather odd for Ebony to be involved in with the dwarves. We're not sure if it was stolen and left there when the city fell, or if it was used by one of the dwarves there.
Well, it is mountains where dwarves usually reside. So probably used by dwarves.
You never know.
Okay.
However, the as far as we know, an artifact of this power probably would have been, from our accounts, in the depths of the city. More than likely protected in one of the vaults or places of honor.
Has anything
Protected.
about ancient dwarven history helped you find out more?
Well, certainly. We've been diving through many of the ancient dwarven ruins and have found multiple uh, crazy creatures and these automatons that do magical things that were these machines that are injected with magic. And I'm sure that you saw them all on the outside. He starts to get really excited. This is something that he likes and cares about a lot. Um, and describing how these metal creatures were made to move with different gears and the forges, and then infused with magic in order to like move and have personality, and that's what they're trying to do on the outside to help protect the city and stuff, is they
Just
pulled out.
describing. Wait, is he just describing war forges?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, so really quick, it was said into the canon that war forges are mostly used for like menial tasks. So
hmm
is this odd?
um it sounds like he's describing that there's some forges and that there's also these giant like centurion type beings that,
Oh, so
yes.
different. Okay.
So there's a couple different types he's saying.
Okay, that's interesting.
Um, so these ruins specifically, we actually have not delved into. We just know of their location. So I don't have a map or anything to help you.
It's no problem. My vision should suffice well enough along with this map.
Just
Well,
be
yeah.
warned, that means that we don't know what's inside.
That's fine.
I would be prepared. These cities are vast, and if you're going to search for one item, my best guess is that these types of items would be near wherever the seat of power is.
The throne.
And do you have any books on these ancient artifacts for each of the gods?
He kind of sighs a little bit and says, "Not that I can give you."
Mm,
The artifacts of the gods are considered a little more dangerous of knowledge.
Well, we did fight one of your grimoires.
His eyes widen a little bit. You fought a grimoire. You know of the grimoires.
Yeah, didn't Bree tell you about us?
Oh, that's a point.
She said she contacted the organization, so I assumed you knew that. I assumed you knew about us already. Whether you
No,
knew we were coming or not.
I knew that there had been a problem with the grimoire in Pignus. However,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that civilians were involved.
Speaking of, you should really talk to the person who's in charge down there because because apparently he didn't do his incantations properly, and Bree was very upset about it.
Yes, I know all about Archibald. Why do you think Bree's there? She and Jack are the most proficient that this whole area has seen in a while. So we sent them to the place that they would essentially be running the place.
Yeah, that's
With
fair. Also has nothing to do with me, so you seem to have it handled.
Jesus.
Listen, literally, the guy literally just said that's why we hired them. He's just like, all right, that's not my business.
You don't want to hear their backstory?
He has
Once
known
upon
them
a
for
time.
a day.
You know, they were raised together in the same archive.
Okay, and
They were found in the desert as nomads.
Uh-huh.
Children.
Hold up, what is happening?
They're left in carriages side by side. The front of the Oasis store. And be
I'm
like,
not
tries
a-
to come in.
I'm not a resident of the Oasis. Am I allowed to check out books?
You are allowed to look at the books of the lower level clearance. But in order
So
to access the certain knowledge and certain books, you need to be a part of the archives or have certain clearance, which you
Oh,
do
well,
not have.
and
We
I
already
have
know
no
the
plan.
deepest secrets of the archives, probably more than a lot of the people here know, but we still don't have clearance to see anything.
Yeah.
You should be grateful that it is because of your association with Bree and my assumptions that you assisted her in this endeavor that I'm not turning you in and you're not getting in trouble for knowing secrets that you should not.
And you should be grateful
Excuse
that we
you?
stopped the mistake you guys made
Oh.
by not letting enough people defend Pignus, and we stopped it.
So Zai looks at Rooks like he was just. Yeah, he is offended. So he just looks at Rooks like, Rooks, the hell did he just say?
And listen, I don't really care much. I just think that there should be a little more leeway for the people who essentially covered up your whole grimoire thing in a whole different country.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural
Come on.
one.
The one thing you're good at, my dude.
Natural one.
He's a bard. He's good at a lot of things. Okay, that's an 18.
I rolled low.
He
Oh,
did
good,
roll
dude.
low. He rolled an 8. He says,
May the Oasis refresh you.
no.
translation, fuck you.
He says, I would like to help, and I will give you my notes as much as I can. But this is above me.
And we just go above you in the next chain of command?
You can certainly try. I won't be able to
Damn.
help you much there.
You're damn right I'm gonna try.
I'm sorry. Are we gonna pull a Karen?
well,
Well, okay, well,
Is he your district manager?
well,
then
he's offered
then
us his
show me
notes.
who's in charge. Show me
Nah,
who's in charge.
He's offered us his notes, Rooks. If that's sufficient for you, I think we should leave it at that. If not, we can try and go above.
Oh, I have no plans on getting involved any further. I don't really care. We're here to do a job. That's about it.
Well, I think we should take whatever notes he has on the subject in the ruins, and maybe things that may be inside.
I don't
So
have very
he-
many notes on those. I do have, however, notes on the artifacts.
so
That as
Zai
well.
turns to Rooks and he said, are we not going to investigate further on the grimoires? The dude literally told us he was coming back.
Well, that's not the job we were hired to do, unfortunately.
And he's like, and so you're willing. And he comes back, oh no, we don't know how to fight this guy. We don't know what to do, all because we been hired to do that yet.
Well, the Oasis are full of smart people. They'll figure it out. That has nothing to do with us. That's not what we were paid for.
When someone threatens you right to your face, that has everything to do to you. You were there too in that fight.
If someone threatens me to my face, I can pay someone to take care of them if I have enough money to.
And he's just like, you don't have to. That's why I'm here. That's why I need to know about the grimoires.
Listen, if you wish to do research on your own regards, that's perfectly fair. I have no interest.
Well, fine. If you want me to go along, find research so that I can save your ass, fine. Who can? So he turns back to
Quentin.
his name. Quentin. And here, show me who can tell me more about the grimoires.
I'm not sure that's going to go over well.
It may not go over well, but I still need to know.
Why not? You're never going to have access to them again.
Might as well try.
He kind of sighs and sits down at his desk and like looks to you, Dr. Rux, because you seem reasonable. And says, the grimoires, as you know, are locked beneath archives.
Yes.
The only reason that one got out and was released is because there was 2 weak-ish, not fully trained archivists apprentice left there alone with this extremely powerful grimoire that has had the chance to corrupt because the wards weren't strong enough. This will not happen again.
And even if there is a chance that it's gonna happen again, shouldn't we use that as main priority?
Here's what I'll tell you. The grimoires are Sakuna's way of locking away beings who are too powerful or allowed to be on any plane at the moment after the war. She split up the stronger essences, such as Seitidia, and put different essences away in these small demi-plane pockets that are protected by the grimoires. The grimoires act as the gate and are the key to the demi-planes. These are then protected with wards and locked away beneath different archives, as I'm sure you've realized. The majority of the grimoires don't do much. Sometimes some of the different sea-based demigods and the like will occasionally fill part of the room with water, but that's about the worst that things get. There are, however, the stronger ones, such as Seitidia, which is why it's unfortunate that it's locked beneath a very small archive that was run by a not great archivist, hence why I recommended Bree and Jack.
And
It is
and that's
only grimoire underneath that archive.
that's the most powerful.
Right now, it's the only active one of the primordials.
Speaking of, is there any possible way we can legally, I guess, get research on the primordials here?
Certainly.
Well, there you go. I can get a couple books for you to read up on Xylovar.
Right. Where are these books located?
I can hand you some on the way out. Not a problem.
Alrighty.
Anything else you'd like to ask him before he walks you back to
Before he pees himself, apparently.
the archives? No.
Oh, right. Do you guys happen to have an area where one could cook?
That would be not that you would have access to. That would be
Oh,
more
Wow,
of
the
a
forbidden
question
kitchen.
for.
The fucking
That would be-
forbidden kitchen.
So Zai pretty much throws his arms up in like anger. He's just like,
What do we have access to?
Not in the archives area. Civilians are allowed to be on the outside and to stay on the outside. You are not part of the archives. You've not undergone any training. You don't have access to certain things. You can, however, stay in an inn in the area and maybe try to sweet talk your way into the kitchen. I don't understand why you're angry with me.
But that's just his way. That's just his way of showing affection. It's no big deal.
Yes, he truly loves the archives.
Yes, I am very affectionate towards this man. Good. Good. Zai just leaves the room like, do shit in this place.
I walk out with Zai.
So speaking of, where's the closest bakery?
I would suppose you'd want to. Probably the Northwestern Market District.
All right, thank you. Can I have a library card?
I love you. You wouldn't understand library cards because these are the only libraries. And essentially, he's just going to lend you a book and you return it.
Wait.
What? What?
So, like, library cards are extinct, or like they don't exist?
This is a fantasy world. They don't exist. It's not how it works. You can just go and read the books while you're in the archives and take whatever notes you need to on the books, and then the books don't leave.
Wait, so they just wait. So, like in like a normal library, do they just expect you to bring it back? What happens if you don't bring it back?
They don't
No,
let you
no,
read the
no,
books
no.
at
You
all.
use the books don't leave. They stay in the archives. You spend time there doing your research, taking your notes, and then like you leave the books there. The books stay. They do not leave the building.
Copies of books are usually like handwritten.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Okay, I was really confused about that for a second.
Yeah, so the fact that Jack even trusted you with some of the books that he did is like saying something.
Yeah, fuck you.
May the Oasis
Okay.
It's him
refresh.
saying he realizes how competent I am.
May the Oasis refresh your mind. That's 110% yes. Okay. Okay, so you guys are heading back towards the archives. Quentin writes on a slip of paper a book title that he recommends for your friend that you can have one of the students find for you. So Snud and Cass, you guys did not go and went back to the reception
Yep.
in the archives. Okay, so what would you like to do? Let's
I
follow
would
you
like
for
to
a
go
minute.
to the reception area and ask if they have a book restorer in the premises.
A book what? Sorry, repeat that.
A person that restores books.
The receptionist says, certainly the person to best restore books would be, and she gives you directions to the building that's straight directly across from the archives, and says that hold on one second.
I don't think Zari was prepared for this.
No, I'm
Zari's
prepared for
never prepared for
everything.
any.
Excuse you?
That doesn't
Wanna
mean that's a
go?
bad thing.
Did
Are
you
we
say I'm not
fighting?
prepared for everything, or what? What did
I
you just?
said Zari's not prepared for everything.
You know, you're right. I'm not prepared for everything you do.
Crazy.
Sometimes you do,
Right.
yes.
That doesn't
Um.
mean so.
So she says the main person who restores books and runs the workshop is named Talon. He should be able to help you.
Really helpful, thank you.
So you guys follow her directions across the main area to the small building over there. You walk in, there's a couple different offices, but straight away you see kind of large double doors and you open it and it's a decent sized room. There's immediately the smell of like mold and glue hits you.
Mold and glue.
Yes. And
Perfect.
so I know, right? And
Not
you
at my
see
old high
like
school.
tons ew. You see tons of old books and lots of books that are like half put together. And an older gentleman alone in the room right now, his white hair kind of he has like these gold looking glasses on with several different like kind of similar to your jeweler's glasses where you can flip down different lenses to get closer, zoom in. I'm wording is very difficult right now. So that you can look closer at things when you're blind, like me. Um, and he is like hands deep in an old book and has like different things like all over his hands. He has gloves on and is like
He has
really
books on
trying
his
to
hands, like his
paste.
hands deep.
You, I'm gonna fight you. That's what's gonna happen. No, I just mean that like he's
I
trying
know,
to piece
sorry.
together.
I know what you.
He's trying to piece together this old book page by page.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna walk up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say?
Excuse me, are you the one in charge of restoring books and scrolls?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice you there. And he kind of turns. His eyes are a little wild. Yes, I do restore books and scrolls.
I happen to have a damaged book that that I would like you to restore if possible. I found
Oh,
it in a temple nearby.
that's very interesting. Okay, let me see.
That sounds.
I hand him over the rotted book of Kitsune.
Okay. He like shoves a bunch of stuff out of the way and takes it gingerly in his hands and sets it down on the table and is starting to look through it and he goes, this is very, 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 very rotten indeed. Thank you. And he's like, I don't know if I could repair much of this. I could maybe get some of the information. It looks like to be an old journal.
That'd be great. Well, anything you can restore would be awesome. I
It'll
mean,
take it'll take me some time. I'm in the middle of several other projects right now.
understand.
But you're welcome to leave this here with me, and I will do my best. It'll probably take a couple of weeks.
Wow, that long? I thought you were the head restorer here. I thought it would be done a lot quicker.
He kind of looks at you and he's like, I'm the head restorer, but doing a favor for some person I don't know is a little bit different than the projects that I'm supposed to be working on to gather information for the archives.
Awkward.
Do you say
Be
that?
a real
No.
shame if something happened to your family.
Something happened. All these books.
Are you
Oh
saying
my
that?
god.
No,
Yes.
no, of course not.
I was like, you could roll.
It is not
You-
Instance character.
A real shame.
Okay.
I wish I was that character.
Oh my god, I don't know if I could handle that alongside all the other chaos you guys have. I mean, I probably could. It'd be funny.
It's funny.
Really?
Whatever you can do to restore the book, that'd be awesome. Or gather all the information that's there.
It wouldn't be restoring, it would be gathering information, but I'll try my best.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
And he like starts looking around and like patting his like pockets and like then reaches into his hair and pulls a pen like a writing implement, a pencil out of it and writes on a random piece of paper and slaps it on the top of the book and says, "Okay, to the small kobold in armor. What was your name?"
I'm Snud, and I'm not a kobold anymore. I'm a dragonborn paladin.
Okay, to the delusional kobold.
Oh.
What?
Okay, does this guy want to die?
You're not there.
Do we hear him say
Of course, I'm
this?
not there. I asked if you wanted to die.
He's muttering under his breath. I mean, he's not being subtle. He has no people skills.
Also, this character's a call out post to me. This is literally me.
No, it's not. You're not that
Hyped
crazy.
up on drugs and books.
Yeah, me.
Hopped up on drugs. That sounds like Brooks.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And he says, I guess just check back in and I'll work on it when I can in between projects.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And then Snud's gonna go back in the ocean area and just wait for his friends.
Okay.
And Zylvar.
Wow.
That's tough.
Ah. You know, I think that burns a great place to end. So we can end right here. You guys are in the archives, and next week I'll pick up with you.
Going on a shopping spree.
Okay, but wait, sorry. When you were saying
Yes.
he was reaching for the comb, I thought you were gonna say he was doing that like Home Alone 2 thing where he's like rubbing his fingers together for like a tip.
No, it was just trying to find a pencil so we could write down a name.
Thank you.
Well,
You
that's
want
great.
the library to burn down?
So yes, next week we will explore the Sanbar Oasis. If you guys want to stock up before you go delving into a very old, for lack of better terms, dungeon. Going dungeon diving.
I mean, honestly, I'm just hoping that they have a magic shop because I have a magic item I wanna buy.
So yeah, guys, for the sake of my brain, will you please, like send me any stuff that you want to buy so that I can research and figure out prices and where that like all is
I
I want to
before.
buy
Surprise.
Wolverine claws.
I do not want surprises. Thank you
And
very
I'll
much.
do like 5 different things that are completely different,
Can I get Wolverine claws?
and that you'll need to
See-
build a whole organization around.
On the fly.
On a whole story arc
Okay.
around this one thing.
Oh,
Machine gun.
actually,
About me getting a couple.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. Yes, actually.
guys, I think I'm gonna make my first custom magic item, but I'm gonna write it all down so that Zari doesn't have to worry about it.
Aw.
Can
I'm
I
good at
have
making
the
custom
machine
magic
gun?
items.
Just a straight up machine gun.
Fine, we
No,
can talk.
sorry.
No.
I'll literally just send you the two items I want to buy. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Could I buy a bag of never-ending donuts?
Never ending donuts.
Yes.
You know, you could probably commission an item like that.
No, just give him a bag of holding that he has to continuously fill up with them.
They go into like space
They
or
would
whatever, so they're
rot, no?
preserved.
They would.
They rot?
They would rot.
Gross.
They're not
It
preserved.
just adds to the
Can-
flavor.
Can we get a bag of holding so that Zai can put the bodies in?
You have a handy haversack or whatever it's
Yeah, but
called.
they don't
Okay,
know we
well-
have a haversack.
Can that hold the body though?
Probably. I don't know. You
Yeah.
have to just get it through the top.
They could just
Tell-
chop it off in small pieces.
Yeah, or really
Wow.
shove it through.
So you're telling me that I can go murder Hobo
Okay,
and then
guys,
just stick him in the bag?
Okay. Anyway. Okay, guys. Thanks to those who hung out and listened on stream today. We appreciate you all. And we will see you next week on Friday. We upload on YouTube. We're a couple episodes behind where we are right now, but we upload on YouTube every Wednesday. And yeah. Follow our Twitter for updates and things.
Updates and
At Roll Destined. It'll also be on our like off-screen page. Okay. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.